It's just a spa day with the girls. That's what she told me, standing in the kitchen with her gym bag slung over her shoulder, hair tied up in that effortless bun she always did when she wanted to look casual. She said it so smoothly, so easily, like it was the most ordinary thing in the world. Just another Saturday. Just another excuse for self-care. Nothing to raise an eyebrow about. She even threw in that little eye roll, the kind that silently accused me of being uptight for even hesitating. I smiled back, pretended not to notice how she avoided my eyes. I wanted to believe her, because marriage, at least the way I understood it, was built on trust. But the words lodged themselves in the back of my mind. It's just a spa day with the girls. Here's the thing. I knew her friends. I knew their schedules, their habits, their little inside jokes. And I also knew that not one of them had mentioned this spa day. Not on group texts. Not in the usual chatter when I'd overhear them on speakerphone. Not in any of the conversations I'd half listened to. Nothing. The silence around this spa day was too loud to ignore. She left with a peck on my cheek, smelling faintly of lavender perfume. Too elegant for a casual spa day, and drove off. I watched the car roll down the driveway, my gut tightening like a fist. For the next few hours I tried to distract myself, cleaned the garage, answered work emails, went for a run, but the unease never left. It sat heavy in my chest, gnawing away. That night, she came home glowing. Not just the post-spa glow women rave about, but glowing. Her skin flushed, her hair slightly tousled, her mood unusually light. She kissed me on the lips, almost too eagerly, and set her bag down like nothing had happened. "How was it?" I asked, voice even. She grinned, tossing her shoes off. "Perfect. So relaxing. The girls really needed it." I nodded, but my mind snagged on one detail. Her phone. Normally when she came back from outings with friends, her phone buzzed non-stop with group chats, memes, the usual flood of after-event chatter. That night, silent. She kept it face down, barely glanced at it. I didn't push, I didn't accuse. I didn't want to be the paranoid husband she could dismiss with a laugh and a shake of her head. But I paid attention. Days passed. She grew more careful. She guarded her phone like it was state property. Notifications silenced. Screen tilted away. Fingers moving fast when she thought I wasn't looking. At night she'd roll over in bed, her body turned away from me, the glow of her screen lighting up her side of the room. When I shifted, she'd click it off, feigning sleep. One afternoon while she showered, her bag sat half open on the bed. I didn't go rifling through it, not at first, but something peeked out, a folded slip of paper faintly embossed. I pulled it out, a receipt. My stomach dropped. It was from a high-end spa downtown. Date, the day she'd claimed her girls' spa day. Services: aromatherapy, couples, massage. For 2, not 1, 2. I stared at it, my hands shaking, reading it over and over, as though the words might rearrange into something innocent. But they didn't. Couples massage. For 2. Paid in full. The shower turned off. Panic surged. I shoved the receipt back into her bag and zipped it up, heart hammering, as I walked out of the room. At dinner that night, she laughed easily, told me about a meeting at work, asked about my day. Her eyes shone like nothing was wrong. I nodded, chewed my food, but the taste turned to ash in my mouth. Every word out of her mouth felt like a layer of paint over a rotting wall. Over the next week, I became a detective in my own house, watching, listening, not snooping, at least that's what I told myself. Just observe. And the cracks widened. More late nights, more unexplained plans, more perfume when she left, none when she came back. I started piecing it together like a puzzle. The sudden gym obsession, the new lingerie she swore she bought for herself, the locked phone, the glowing skin, the slip-ups in her stories that didn't quite match, and of course the receipt burning in my memory. But I kept quiet, because I realized, if I confronted her now, she'd twist it. She'd cry, deny, accuse me of invading her privacy, gaslight me into believing I was imagining things. No, I needed more than suspicion. I needed undeniable proof. So I waited. She made it easier than I expected. Her guard slipped the more comfortable she grew in her deception. One night, while she showered, her phone buzzed on the nightstand. A preview flashed before the screen dimmed. Can't stop thinking about last weekend. Same time next week. I didn't unlock it. I didn't need to. The words alone confirmed everything. My chest ached. My vision blurred. But I stayed still. I took a photo of the screen. Proof. That night, lying beside her, I listened to her breathe evenly, as though nothing was wrong, as though she hadn't carved a hole through the middle of our marriage. I wondered how long it had been going on. Weeks? Months? Years? Had I missed it all this time, blinded by trust? I thought about our vows, about the life we'd built, the home we'd decorated, the future we'd mapped out in late-night whispers. And then I thought about a couple's massage receipt tucked in her bag, and a message glowing on her screen. Same time next week. That was the night I decided I wasn't going to let this rot in the shadows. I wasn't going to let her bury me under her lies. If she wanted to play games with someone else, then the end game would be mine. Her sister's engagement party was coming up in 2 weeks. The perfect setting. Family, friends, people she desperately needed to impress. A night meant for celebration, for love, for promises of forever. I smiled when she brought it up, kissed her forehead, and said, "Of course I'll be there." But inside I knew that was going to be the night. The night I pulled the mask off. The night I laid the truth bare in front of everyone who thought she was untouchable. The night her lies stopped being whispers in the dark, and became a spotlight no one could ignore. She thought she was in control, but she had no idea the storm I was about to unleash. The night of her sister's engagement party glowed like a picture from a magazine. The venue was a converted hall strung with fairy lights, chandeliers glowing softly, tables draped in white linens, with candles flickering at their centers. Guests arrived in clusters, dressed to the nines, laughter spilling into the air as they embraced the bride-to-be and her fiancé. Love and family, and celebration. That's what the night was supposed to be about. But for me, it was the stage. The receipts in my jacket pocket felt heavier than lead. The photo of her phone screen was tucked in there too, folded carefully, its words seared into my memory. Can't stop thinking about last weekend. Same time next week. And then the crown jewel, the spa receipt. Couples must. For 2. I wasn't nervous. Not anymore. I had spent 2 weeks watching her move around the house, as though nothing had happened. Smiling, humming, dressing up for her girls' nights, kissing me on the cheek with lips that tasted like lye. I had felt the betrayal hollow me out, and then I had sharpened that hollow into steel. Tonight wasn't about me losing her. Tonight was about her losing everything she thought she could protect. She looked beautiful that night. Stunning even. A crimson dress, hair swept back, heels clicking confidently as she walked beside me. Her hand hooked into my arm. She played the perfect wife, whispering how excited she was to celebrate her sister, reminding me to smile for photos, kissing me in front of her relatives. I let her, because I wanted her to believe for just a little longer that she was still in control. Dinner was lively, speeches warm and heartfelt. Her sister's fiancé spoke about how he knew she was the one from the first time she laughed at his terrible jokes. Guests clapped, some wiping tears. Her father stood, proud and booming, toasting to the future son-in-law, reminding everyone of the importance of loyalty and commitment. The irony made my teeth ache. Then she stood. My wife, my betrayer. She raised her glass, smiling warmly. "To my sister," she said, voice sweet, "for finding a love that's real and true, for building a partnership that will stand the test of time." She paused, her eyes glinting under the lights, then looked at me, and to my husband, for always standing by me. "I couldn't do this life without you." The applause was instant, people nodding, smiling, clinking glasses. She sat, slipping her hand onto mine under the table, squeezing gently. That was it, the final straw. She had just toasted loyalty with a straight face, while receipts in my pocket screamed the opposite. I stood. The scrape of my chair against the floor silenced the table. Conversations died. Dozens of eyes turned toward me, her hand clamped tighter on mine, nails digging in. "Don't," she hissed under her breath, her smile faltering. I pulled free. "I'd like to say something," I said, my voice calm but loud enough to command the room. Her father smiled. "Of course. Go ahead." I looked around the room, meeting eyes one by one. "Tonight, we're here to celebrate loyalty, commitment, the foundation of family. And it's beautiful. But I think it's only fair to talk about what happens when loyalty is broken. A ripple of unease moved through the guests. She froze, her face draining of color. I reached into my jacket and pulled out the envelope. Thick, heavy, the sound of it hitting the table was louder than the music. I slid the first page free, the spa receipt. This, I said, holding it up for all to see, is a receipt from a high-end spa downtown. Booked on the day she told me she was having a girls' spa day. Couples massage. For 2, not 1. 2. Gasps rippled around the table. Her mother's fork clattered to her plate. Her father's brow furrowed deeply. Her sister's smile collapsed into a stunned frown. She shot up from her chair, her voice breaking. Please, stop. Don't do this here. But I pressed on. She told me she needed time with her friends. But friends don't book couples massages. Friends don't send messages like this. I pulled out the photo of her phone screen. The words glowing in black and white. Can't stop thinking about last weekend. Same time next week. The room erupted in whispers. Her aunt gasped audibly. Cousins covered their mouths. Her sister looked like she'd been punched. Across the table, her father's face turned crimson. His fists clenched. No, she cried, tears streaming, her hands shaking as she reached for the papers. It's not what it looks like. Please listen to me. It's not. I stepped back, out of her reach. It's exactly what it looks like, I said coldly. While I sat at home believing your stories, you were with him. While I thought you were finding peace, you were finding someone else. Her father slammed his palm on the table, plates rattling. Is this true? He thundered, his voice booming. She broke then, collapsing back into her chair, sobbing uncontrollably. I made a mistake, she choked. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I needed something different. I needed to feel alive again. Her mother shook her head, tears rolling down her cheeks. How could you? On your sister's night. Her sister stared at her in shock, her engagement ring glittering under the lights. You told me love meant everything to you, she whispered. And you did this. The guests shifted uncomfortably, some glaring at her, others glancing at me with pity. But I didn't need pity. I needed truth. I laid the receipts on the table, letting them sit there like evidence in a courtroom. Then I looked at her one last time. You told me it was just a spa day with the girls, I said quietly, my voice razor sharp. But receipts don't lie, screenshots don't lie. You do. I set down my glass, straightened my jacket, and walked toward the door. Behind me, the noise erupted into chaos. Her sobbing, her father shouting, her mother crying, her sister demanding answers. Guests whispering furiously, some leaving the table altogether. The perfect engagement celebration had turned into a battlefield of betrayal. She stumbled after me, grabbing my arm as I reached the door. Please, she cried, mascara streaking down her cheeks. Please don't leave me like this. I'll end it. I'll cancel everything. I'll prove to you I love you. Just don't go. I pulled free, my voice low but final. You already went. The second you let him put his hands on you, you left me. I walked out into the night, the cool air slicing through me, each step heavier and lighter. All at once. The fallout was brutal. Her family turned on her, humiliated and furious. Her father refused to speak to her. Her mother wept openly. Her sister told her she'd ruined the most important night of her life. Friends, she thought would defend her, stayed silent, too ashamed. And him, the man she thought was worth risking it all, vanished the moment the truth came out, leaving her with nothing but wreckage. She called me for weeks, messages swinging between rage and desperation. You ruined me one day. Please, I love you, don't leave me. I never answered. I filed for separation. My lawyer looked over the folder, nodding grimly. This is more than enough, he said. And me, I walked away scarred. Yes, changed forever, yes. But free. Sometimes, I still hear her voice in my head. It's just a spa day with the girls. But then I remember the receipt that said couples massage for 2, and I realized that lie was the most expensive day of her life, because it cost her me.